Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to be going over two different stories from young guys that are soldiers and deployed overseas, and they then find out, surprise, surprise, that their wives were cheating on them. And the first story I'm going to go over with, his wife came to visit him at a post-deployment location, and he then found out he knew there was some odd behavior on her part going on. And then one thing led to another, and he found out, guess what? Not only was she cheating, but she was having a three-way going on with two different partners. Isn't that nice for him to find out when he's about to be deployed, right? And the other story is about a guy who comes home after being deployed for a long time. He's so excited to see his wife and his newborn child. And lo and behold, he comes home, the house is quiet, and surprise, surprise, you can imagine what he finds going on in his basement. And I'm doing this, guys, because I think it's important to do videos like this every so often, because this, unfortunately, is a real stereotype of what happens to a lot of young guys that get married and they then are deployed overseas, and then the young wife is at home with nothing else to do, and then she cheats on the guy or has these long-term affairs or whatever. And you know, I've done a couple of videos like this since I started the channel, guys, and you would not believe the thousands and thousands of comments I got from guys all over the world that would share their stories that happened to them or somebody that they were friends with or somebody that they knew. It's that common. So I'm doing this, guys, so that you guys that are young, that are thinking about serving, don't get into the same situation as these poor guys. You know, that you don't get, you think that everything's great and you marry this girl before you ship out, so to speak, and then guess what? You know, you end up getting your heart broken, you end up getting humiliated and royally screwed in the divorce process. Because obviously, a lot of these guys, once they find out, that's it, it's over, and they divorce the girl, but they get hammered in by the divorce. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. So I'm sharing these stories just so you young guys are aware of this. So the first one starts off, and it's not too long, but it gets right to the point here. It says, the title is Deployed Soldier, 28-year-old male, with my wife, 23-year-old female, 3 years, cheated on me, engaging in a three-way. So it sounds like she's 23, but it's been his wife for 3 years. So she got married at 20 years old. She's a damn kid, okay? He's older and obviously more mature, but still, get married at 20? That's crazy, but that's what happens. That's what a lot of these guys do. They get married before they sign up, or before they're deployed, because, you know, of course, that's what you see in TV and movies, and it's all romantic and all that bullshit. And, you know, I've made it clear that TV and movies are a bunch of crap, so just don't get sucked into that, guys. Starts off, I'm a soldier deployed in Afghanistan, or deployed to Afghanistan. I've been gone 3 months. My wife visited me at a pre-mobilization post after a month and a half. She was on the phone constantly with her friend and her friend's fiance back home during the whole visit. I wasn't worried about it. I hardly noticed until she started getting really protective of her phone. Guys, the phone is the pathway to all secrets for every person. No joke. I don't like snooping through people's correspondence, but her newfound protectiveness inspired curiosity. While she was using the shower, I looked through her texts and found out that she had one or more sexual encounters with her friend, a female, and her friend's fiance, a male. I didn't say anything because she had previously disclosed the encounter was just a single drunken kiss and was an isolated incident. Yeah, sure. Also, I was really excited that she came to visit me and didn't want to ruin the rest of our short time together before I flew overseas. So he already knew that there was some incident that happened before, and she just dismissed it as a drunken kiss or something like that. Guys, you don't dismiss things like that. That's a big red flag right there. And because this guy's obviously a good guy, and he obviously is a bit naive when it comes to what can happen with women, he just, you know, hey, okay, it was a drunken thing, whatever. Lo and behold, a lot more going on behind the scenes. He says, this morning I confronted her about it over the phone. She hesitated but ultimately disclosed the full encounter, explaining how it escalated from casual touching to a three-way. She emphasized that she did not have carnal knowledge, and she says in parentheses, penile/vaginal penetration with the male, but received oral stimulation from her friend, the female, while her friend was engaging in intercourse with the fiance. So, hey, she's saying, hey, it just happened, of course, and I didn't touch the guy, he didn't touch me, but it was my friend, the girl, that was, like that makes it better. I mean, in some ways, some guys might be like, okay, fine, as long as he didn't touch her. But number one, are you really going to believe that? And number two, still cheating is cheating. End of fucking story. He says, previously, my wife had asked permission to engage in this sort of act with these two friends of hers. She also expressed interest in four-way interactions once I returned home. In other words, trying to lure this guy in, get the promise of it could happen with him later on if she gets to have her fun first. I refused, explaining that I saw it as infidelity and that it would hurt our relationship. Come to find out, she was asking permission after already having engaged in the act. This is the thanks he gets for his sacrifice. This is the thanks he gets for being abroad, and at any moment his number could be up, and he's providing with income, housing, benefits, security, all that. This is the thanks that this guy gets for all this. Nice wife. But how many times do things like this, one way or another, happen? It's really a shame. He says, we have known each other for 8 years and have been married for 2 years. I love my wife, but she only confessed after I had caught her. Her story also has some inconsistencies, making me think that I don't have the full truth. I guarantee this guy is not getting the full story. There is no way, okay? And pretty soon, no doubt, we're going to get into the waterworks and her saying that she's sorry and all that, but we all know darn well that happens after they get caught. Whether you've just heard enough stories like this, or unfortunately, you guys, this has happened to you once in your life. Not being a soldier and finding out a cheating wife or girlfriend, but just simply a girl cheating on you. She says she is profoundly sorry and that the encounter was an isolated event. Bullshit. Bullshit. Her friend, the female, realized that she is sexually intimidated by my wife and is insecure about her own relationship due to the event. My wife and her friend allegedly agreed to have no further encounters prior to me finding out. She wants to stay married and has said numerous times that she loves me. Well, if she truly loved him, guess what? She wouldn't be pulling this kind of crap behind his back or truly wanting to have all this stuff going on, okay? So, too late, honey. And, if she wouldn't lie, she wouldn't cheat, she wouldn't pull his bullshit, especially when he is in such a dangerous location in the world, and anytime his number can be up. He says, I think it's important to point out that my wife is a career woman with a master's degree. She isn't a homemaker/dependopotamus. She doesn't need my benefits or my paycheck. Hell, she comes from a wealthy family. What do I do? Well, if it were me, or if this guy was asking my advice personally, I would tell him that guarantee you this stuff has happened before and you can't trust her. And again, the crying and the I'm sorry's and I love you has only come about after she got caught. And she obviously doesn't want to lose this guy. And she's really young. He said they've been married for 2 years and she's 23. So they got married when she was 21. Basically a kid, let's be honest here. And he said he knew her for 8 years since she was 15 years old, okay? She's a kid. And so I would say end it. End of story, and divorce the girl. Aside from the fact that you can't trust that she's not going to do this again and embarrass you and humiliate you and so forth, it's not worth it. This guy can start over and move on. So whatever he's got to do to find out to end the situation, I say he does it right there and then. And hopefully because she already has a job and she makes some money, he won't get hammered as much, and I'm making a point saying as much in the divorce, as if she was just no job and solely dependent on him, his money, his benefits, all that to take care of her. Hopefully that'll be the situation. But I'm not a divorce attorney, so I don't know how it works, but hopefully that can help the guy out. But he got to end it with her because it's going to happen again. And even if, let's just say it doesn't, he's never going to look at her the same again. Guaranteed. And any guy that's ever been cheated on by someone that you really, really cared about and loved, you all know darn well that you don't see him the same anymore. And you're always going to be wondering when she gets a text or when she's looking at the phone, is it just something, is it from her mom or sister or friend, or is something going on? Seriously. So I say end it, move the hell on. So the next one, guys, Hang on a second here. The next one, guys, is from a guy who was deployed, and he came home to find, guess what? His wife was having something going on with a guy. And so once again, a guy who's deployed, putting his life on the line, and you see what happens. So the title of this one is, I came back home from deployment and found my wife in bed with another man. Starts off, you know, being in love is probably one of the most beautiful things in life, but it's also one of the most dangerous things. Life is all about risk. I know that. I joined the Marines as a private. Now I'm a corporal. Busted my ass, but I'm here. I want to stay a Marine for the rest of my life, or at least I wanted to. I'm in a tough spot. I married my wife 3 years ago. When I married her, I was so in love. Everything she did made me smile. How she looked at me, how she smiles, laughs, plays with her hair, I love it. I love it all. Now I don't know if I love this woman at all. I was deployed for 8 months. Now while I was at my base, my brothers at base would always tell me women only marry soldiers for the benefits. You know, benefits, pay, health care, education, vacations, all that. They say wives get lonely when we get deployed and bring home a friend while I'm here. I didn't listen to any of this, right? Not all women are like that, right? Well, I don't know anymore. It's not my place to say every woman is like this now. I think it's unfair to say that every single woman married to a guy that's in the military and gets deployed is going to do this, okay? I don't think that's the case. But the thing is, enough of it happens enough times that clearly the stereotype is kind of on the money here, okay? Again, I've seen many articles and many stories, some of which I haven't even done videos on, of guys telling the story and the situation with their wives or fiancés or girlfriends, what they do when the guy's gone. It's really sad. And of course, the thousands of comments I get from guys all over the world posting on the videos. So there is something to this. So it's really unfortunate. But you see, the way he talks about he was deeply in love with her, her hair, her eyes, all that bullshit, her smile. This is what sucks guys in, and they put the wool over their eyes, and they completely ignore reality and the signs, and they don't want to believe it's going to be her. But unfortunately, and these guys get really burned. They don't want to see the red flags that are going on. They turn a blind eye. They're just thinking, oh, it's just my imagination. And next thing you know, they get burned, and it's really unfortunate. He continues, when I flew home, I had to take a 12-hour flight. I wanted to see my family so bad. A wife and a beautiful princess. Being away from my baby is like getting punched in the stomach a billion times until I see her again. Although, I chatted with her all the time. I go inside thinking they were there. I saw no one home. I sat down waiting for them. Called my wife and she didn't pick up. No text, nothing. I went to the kitchen and started hearing some thumps. It's coming from the basement. When I opened the door, I heard a guy moaning. I head down quietly. It benefited me that we have very soft, furry-like carpet. And wow, I caught my wife blowing my someone I graduated high school with. Imagine that scene. He comes creeping down and he looks in, there's his wife going to town with some dude that he graduated high school with. We weren't best friends or anything, but we did know each other. I couldn't believe this. Now I don't play this crap. I jumped in the bed and beat this man. Not brutally like other guys do, but enough to give him a black eye and busted lip. Hey, this guy had it coming. And of course this guy obviously knew that this woman was married. He says, he knew she's my wife. He knew I was away. My wife was screaming not to hit him, that she's sorry. This guy's been gone for 8 months. He comes home, just dying to see his family, his wife, his baby girl, and all that. Comes home, hears noise, goes in the basement, and lo and behold, his wife is going down on some dude, and he rightfully gives this guy an ass kicking, and his wife's screaming to not hit the guy that she was going down on. Are you fucking kidding me here? Good Lord. But that she's sorry, of course. Since that moment, my home was being at base. This home is nothing but ruined memories. My brothers are right about marriage, about my wife. Never again will I trust my wife, or if I divorce, I want to stay a Marine, which means it'll be a waste of time to marry again. It is so unfortunate this guy learned this, and it has this. He unfortunately has learned the hard way about the stereotype of what happens. But you know, the guys, his fellow Marines, they were on the money about what can happen. And sure enough, look what happened to the poor guy. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's probably young. He says, "Yes, we are still married. That was not too long ago. I regret staying with her every day. I look at her now. When she smiles at me, I just look away. When she hugs me, I just look at something else, putting one arm around her. When she tries to kiss me, I turn my head. Our favorite thing was to try out something we've never ever ate before." Well, she was trying something that she never ate before, and the guy walked in on her, and look what happened there. "We would go to other states just to eat at the highest rated restaurants. We haven't done that since before the day I left to Asia. I'm just not in love anymore. When I talk about divorce, she jumps on me saying she's so sorry, showing fake tears, that she will never do it again, that she loves me. She confessed to sleeping with him 3 times. And he says, I'm all over the place, I know. So while I was away, the entire time, she only slept with him 3 times? Yeah, okay. 3 times? Yeah, bullshit. I mean, this guy can't believe anything she says. Even if she's being honest about that, which I doubt, who the hell cares? 1 time's enough. Again, this guy's overseas, risking his life, and she's at home benefiting from all this. The house, the pay, the benefits, all that stuff. And this guy, his number could be up at any time, and this is the thanks he gets. It's absurd. It's horrible. This guy needs to get on his ass and talk to a lawyer and find a way to get rid of her because, no way. He says, I'll be honest, I probably should be nominated for being the most distant husband around. She cries me saying she misses me, that what she did was a mistake, that she'll do anything for us to be the same as before. We don't argue, but we are more than distant than enemies. She constantly suggests for us to go see a counselor. All they're going to do is tell us to make up. Anything that involves touching her or making eye contact more than 1 second, I'm not doing it. That's why I'm not going. Yeah, the counselor is going to basically try to tell you to make up, and because they want the couple to make up, and they're usually going to side with the woman, and the counselor's going to say, oh, she's sorry, and look at her crying, and she'll put on an Oscar performance in front of the counselor to get the guy to give in and cave, But, and let's just say hypothetically she is sorry. Okay, I'm just going to play devil's advocate. Let's just say she really is sorry, and she means it, and she screwed up, whatever. Regardless of that, this guy's always going to be wondering if she's going to do it again. This guy's always going to have that image of walking down the stairs and seeing that guy's sausage in her mouth, okay? That doesn't go away. I don't care how sorry she is and how much time goes by, all right? And, he's just not going to be able to look at her the same. So in situations like that, under the circumstances, this guy's got to walk away and end it with her. He says, I wasn't worried about my daughter. She looks so much like me. She has my ears, eye color, and my blonde hair. I don't need no DNA test. And even if she wasn't mine, she's my life. I would never leave her. She's the reason I don't divorce and finish off my marriage. One of the brothers at the base didn't rub it in my face. I remember them saying, when you go home and find your wife on your bed with someone else, we're going to say I told you so. But he didn't say that. He said, I'm ruining my life with the right person. He said, if I don't divorce, I'll be miserable when I could find someone great. Yeah, sure. I just want to go back home, but due to this pandemic, it won't happen. I wish everyone a blessed and stay inside safely. So, this guy is now going to make the classic mistake of staying in a marriage for his child, okay? Because he doesn't want to screw it up, or probably is fearful of leaving her with the mom, or whatever, And it's understandable, but this girl is going to grow up in a household where mom and dad don't love each other. There's a lot of resentment and all that, and that's going to impact her. So the best thing this guy could do is speak to an attorney and find out what rights he has, if any, because, obviously it's the military, and it doesn't sound like she has a job, so she's dependent on him, his money, his benefits, all that, and what he can get out of it. But, it's really a shame. But so, again, guys, I'm doing these stories just to show you that if you are young and you are considering you're in the military right now or you're thinking about joining, which I definitely respect and thank you for your service. If you got that girl that you think is a perfect angel and you want to marry her, I'm going to recommend you wait. If you're not making a career out of being in the military, because a lot of guys do it for a few years and that's it. I'm not sure exactly how many, 4 years, 5 years, forget what it is. You can wait. If you're going to go down that path and get married, I tell you all the time, don't do that, but ultimately it's up to you. I would at least wait until you're done. But if you're doing it for a career, well, that's a whole different ball game then and there. But like I said, this doesn't mean that every single military wife or fiance or girlfriend does this, but a hell of a lot do, just so that you young guys got to be aware of this, okay? And this guy's buddies on base, yeah, they can come off kind of being his assholes, saying, "Oh, wait till you get home," you know, but still, unfortunately, they were right. And so this poor guy, what he has to do for a job, and then to find this happening, it's really a shame. So I want to help you guys not have to deal with that heartache and embarrassment and obviously a negative financial impact if a situation like that happened to you guys. I don't want that. So this is why I do these stories. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know your stories. Be sure to share. Guys will read this, so it will help them out. If you've been in this situation or know somebody that did, please share your story. Explain the situation so the young guys, they can learn before learning the hard way. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.